I set the last plate on the table and stepped back. Perfect, I whispered. The candles flickered beside 2 glasses of wine. In the center sat the chocolate cake Victoria loved. I had ordered from the same bakery where I bought our first anniversary cake. I touched the old silver watch on my wrist. Victoria had given it to me 5 years ago. "You still wear that?" she once asked. "Every day," I had answered. Tonight, I had hoped she would notice. I checked my phone. 7:10 p.m. No message. I smiled at myself. She's probably busy. At 7:45, I called her. She answered on the 4th ring. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I'm in a meeting." "A meeting?" "Yes. Ryan found an important business opportunity. We're discussing it over dinner." I looked at the candles. "Tonight?" "Yes. I might be late." I swallowed. "Victoria, do you know what day it is?" Silence. Long, painful silence. "Of course I know," she finally said. "Then tell me." "Ethan, tell me." She sighed. "I forgot." The words hit harder than I expected. "You forgot our anniversary?" "I've had a crazy week." "I made dinner." "I know, and I'm sorry." "You knew?" "No. I mean, I know now." I closed my eyes. "Are you coming home?" "Maybe later." "Victoria, please." I said I'm sorry. "I can't leave right now. This deal matters." I stared at the empty chair across from me. "Does our marriage matter?" She became quiet again. "Don't do this tonight," she said. "I'm not doing anything." "You sound angry." "I'm hurt." "I'll make it up to you." "When?" "Tomorrow. We'll have dinner." "Tomorrow isn't our anniversary." "I know." "No," I said softly. "You didn't." She exhaled. "Ethan, I have to go." "Wait." "What?" "Who is with you?" "Ryan." I heard music behind her. "Good night," she said. The call ended. I remained beside the table, staring at the phone. A minute later, a message appeared. It was from Claire, Victoria's assistant. "Mr. Cole, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were aware that Mrs. Cole had a private reservation tonight." My stomach tightened. "Where?" Claire sent the restaurant name. Then another message arrived. "I thought you should know because Ryan arranged everything personally." I read it twice. I opened the restaurant's social page. A photo showed a private rooftop table covered with flowers. A small sign beside the candles read, "For Victoria." I felt my chest tighten. She didn't forget. I whispered. She had remembered enough to let another man plan something special. I turned off the candles one by one. At 11:30, the front door finally opened. Victoria walked inside, carrying her coat. "You're still awake?" "Yes." She looked at the dark dining room. "You didn't have to wait." "I know." She frowned. "Ethan, are you okay?" I looked at her. "Did you have a good night?" "It was business." "Was it?" "Yes." "Did Ryan arrange the flowers?" Her face changed. "Who told you?" I laughed once, but there was no happiness in it. "So you did remember." "That's not fair." "What isn't fair?" I forgot the date. "That doesn't mean I don't care about you." I looked at the wedding photograph on the shelf. Then why did tonight feel like I was the only person who remembered? She had no answer. Later, Victoria fell asleep in our bedroom. I stood alone in the hallway, holding our wedding photograph. For years, I had begged for her time, her attention, and her love. Not tonight. I placed the photograph down. "I'm done begging." I whispered. I returned to the table and picked up my phone. A hidden notification from Ryan appeared on the screen. I opened it. "Soon, she won't need him anymore." My hand went cold. I read the message again. Then I understood. This was never just about a forgotten anniversary. I sat down and forced myself to breathe. I did not feel jealous. I felt awake. I remembered defending Victoria when friends warned me. I told myself marriage required patience and love meant giving. But there was a difference between giving and disappearing. Tonight, I understood. I opened my contacts and stopped at Sophia's name, the lawyer Daniel recommended. Then I pressed call. "Hello." Sophia answered. "It's Ethan. I need your help." "With what?" "I need to know exactly what I own." There was a pause. Ethan, why now? Because I think my marriage is over. I looked toward the bedroom door, and I refused to lose myself with it. I barely slept. At 6 in the morning, I was still sitting at the kitchen table, staring at Ryan's message. Soon, she won't need him anymore. The words kept circling inside my head. Victoria walked into the kitchen. You're awake already? I didn't sleep. She poured herself coffee. You're still upset about last night? I'm trying to understand it. There's nothing to understand. Then explain Ryan's message. Her hand stopped. What message? I turned my phone toward her. She read it. I don't know what that means. You were with him. For business. Do you trust him? Yes. More than me? She stared at me. This isn't a competition. It became one when you chose him on our anniversary. That's unfair. No. What's unfair is making me feel crazy for noticing what's happening. She crossed her arms. You've changed. I almost laughed. No, Victoria. I'm finally paying attention. What do you want from me? The truth. You have it. Are you sleeping with him? Her face hardened. How dare you ask me that? Answer me. No. I watched her carefully. Do you love him? She looked away. That isn't the question. It is for me. I don't know what I feel. That answer hurt more than a yes. I nodded slowly. Thank you. For what? For finally being honest. She stepped closer. Ethan, I never wanted to hurt you, but you did. I've been under pressure. So have I. You don't understand what it takes to run a company. I looked at her. I understand more than you think. She shook her head. You always say that, but you don't know what it's like to have hundreds of employees depending on you. I know what it's like to have one person depending on you and still feel alone. She went silent. Then she grabbed her bag. I have to go. Of course. She stopped at the door. Are you really going to let one stupid mistake destroy our marriage? I looked at the empty chair beside me. You forgot our anniversary. I made a mistake. You chose another man. It was business. Then why did he arrange a private celebration? She had no answer. The door closed. I stayed there for several minutes. Then Daniel called. You sound terrible, he said. I feel worse. What happened? I found something. What? Ryan is closer to Victoria than she admits. Daniel became quiet. Ethan, you need to stop protecting her. I know. No, you don't. You spent years making excuses for her. I loved her. Love isn't supposed to make you disappear. His words stayed with me. That afternoon, I met him at a small cafe. He placed a folder on the table. What is this? Your old financial records. I opened it. What am I looking for? Your first investment into Victoria's company. I frowned. I gave her money before we married. How much? $200,000. Daniel shook his head. Check again. I turned the page. My eyes widened. That can't be right. What? There are 3 transfers. He leaned forward. You invested more than $200,000. I kept reading. Another document showed an early business loan connected to my private trust. Daniel, you didn't just help her company. I practically funded its beginning. He nodded. Exactly. I felt something shift inside me. For years, I had believed Victoria built everything alone. Maybe she believed that too. I closed the folder. Why didn't I remember this? Because you never cared about credit. I stared outside. I cared about her. They ain't in sight. Now you need to care about yourself. That evening, I called Sophia. She answered quickly. Did you find the documents? Yes. Then bring everything to my office tomorrow. Why? Because, Ethan, if these records are accurate, your position may be much stronger than you realize. I tightened my grip on the phone. How strong? Strong enough to change the balance of power. I looked toward Victoria's empty chair. Then tomorrow I want the truth. Sophia paused. You may not like what you find. I already know what it feels like to lose my wife. I looked at the folder. I'm ready to find out what else she took from me. And this time, I would not walk into her world as her husband. I would walk in as the man she underestimated most. I arrived at Sophia's office before 9. She looked at the folder in my hands. Did you bring everything? Yes. Good. Sit down. I placed the documents on her desk. I need you to tell me the truth. I will. No protecting Victoria. No soft answers. Sophia nodded. I wouldn't. She opened the first file. These transfers were made through your private trust. I remember the trust. Do you remember why you created it? To protect my savings. Not only that, she pushed another document toward me. I read the first paragraph twice. What is this? Your original investment agreement. I never signed this with Victoria. You signed it with the company. I stared at the signature. That's mine. Yes. What does it mean? Sophia folded her hands. It means you retained ownership rights connected to your original investment. I leaned back. How much? Enough to matter. That isn't an answer. She looked directly at me. Your stake could give you significant voting power. My mouth went dry. Victoria doesn't know. Not according to these records. I stood and walked toward the window. For years, Victoria had told everyone she built the company alone. I had never corrected her. Sophia continued. You also provided the strategy behind the expansion. I gave her an idea. You gave her the plan that saved the company. That was before we married. And you never asked for credit. I thought her success was our success. Sophia closed the folder. That belief may have cost you a lot. I turned around. Can I take the company away from her? You could create problems for her control. That's not what I asked. You may have the legal power to challenge some decisions, but that doesn't mean you should. I sat down again. I don't want revenge. Then what do you want? I thought about the candles from our anniversary. I want to know why she stopped seeing me. Sophia's expression softened. Sometimes people change when success changes their view of themselves. I supported her. I know. I gave her everything. Ethan, giving someone everything doesn't guarantee they will value it. Those words hurt because they were true. My phone rang. Victoria. I answered. Hello. Where are you? At a meeting. With whom? A lawyer. There was silence. Why? Because I need advice. About what? My finances. Ethan, what's going on? I'm trying to understand what belongs to me. Her voice became colder. You're making this bigger than it needs to be. Am I? Yes. Then why are you worried? I'm not worried. You sound worried. I have a company to run. So do I? She laughed bitterly. You. I felt the insult before she finished. What does that mean? You know exactly what it means. No, Victoria. Say it. You've never been interested in business. I wasn't interested in competing with my wife. That isn't the same thing. It is when one person keeps pretending the other doesn't matter. She became quiet. Then she said, I need space. You've had space for years. I'm serious. So am I? What are you planning? I looked at Sophia. Nothing yet. Good. The call ended. Sophia watched me. She's afraid. I heard it. Then be careful. Why? Because fear makes people unpredictable. That night, I returned home before Victoria. I opened an old box in my closet. Inside were letters, receipts, and a photograph from the day we started the company. Victoria stood beside me, smiling. She had looked at me that day and said, We're going to build something incredible. I touched the photograph. We did? I whispered. Then I remembered how she had looked at me last night, like I was already part of her past. My phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. I answered. Hello. A man spoke. Ethan Cole? Yes. You need to stop digging. My heart started beating faster. Who is this? You know exactly who I am. Ryan. He laughed. You're smarter than Victoria gives you credit for. What do you want? I want you to stay out of the company. And if I don't, then you'll learn how quickly everything can disappear. I tightened my grip on the phone. You're threatening me? I'm warning you. No, you're scared. His laughter stopped. You have no idea what you're dealing with. I know enough. The call ended. I stood in the dark. For the first time, I understood that this was bigger than my marriage. Someone had been planning something, and now I knew one thing for certain. I was no longer the only person Victoria had betrayed. Ryan was hiding something, and I was going to find out what it was. I found the divorce papers on my kitchen table the next morning. I stared at the envelope for several seconds before opening it. Victoria walked in behind me. "You got them?" I turned around. "You knew they were coming?" "Yes." "You couldn't even tell me yourself?" "I didn't know how." "You could have said, 'Ethan, I'm ending our marriage.'" "I'm saying it now." I looked down at the papers. "Is Ryan the reason?" She sighed. "Ryan has nothing to do with this." "Then look me in the eyes and say you still want this marriage." She stared at me. "I don't know." "That's not an answer. It's the truth." I nodded slowly. "Why are you divorcing me?" "Because I feel like I've changed." "You changed." I stayed. "That's exactly the problem." I frowned. "What does that mean?" "You're still living in the past." "The past where we loved each other?" "The past where everything was simple." "You mean before you became a CEO?" She looked away. "I worked hard for my life." "I know." "And who was beside you?" "I never asked you to sacrifice your career." "No, you just accepted every sacrifice I made." Her eyes filled with anger. "You're making me sound like a monster." "I'm telling you how I feel. I can't spend my life feeling guilty because you chose to support me. I didn't support you because I expected payment. Then what did you expect?" "Us." The room became silent. Victoria looked down. "I'm sorry. That word is becoming meaningless." She picked up her bag. "You need to sign the papers." "I'll have my lawyer review them." Her expression changed. "Why?" "Because I'm done signing things just because you ask." "You don't trust me?" "Not anymore." She walked toward the door. Then she stopped. "Ethan." "What?" "I never wanted this to become ugly." "Neither did I." "Then don't fight me." I looked at her. "I'm not fighting you." "What are you doing?" "Protecting myself." She left without another word. I called Daniel. She filed. "I'm sorry. I expected it." "No, you didn't." He was right. I had expected rejection. I had not expected how empty it would make me feel. That afternoon, I met Sophia. She read the papers carefully. She's asking for a lot. "What did you expect?" "She wants full control of the company. She believes it belongs to her." "Does it?" Sophia looked at me. "That depends on what you decide to reveal." I leaned back. "Not yet." "Why?" "Because I need to know the whole truth first." Sophia nodded. "I agree." My phone buzzed. A message from Victoria. "Please come home tonight. We need to talk." I stared at it. Daniel called immediately. "Don't go." "I have to." "Why?" "Because I want to hear what she has to say." "Ethan, be careful." "I will." When I returned home, Victoria was waiting in the living room. Ryan was standing beside her. I stopped. "What is he doing here?" Victoria spoke first. "We need to discuss the divorce." "With him?" "He's helping me." I looked at Ryan. "Of course he is." Ryan smiled. I looked at Victoria. "Did you bring him here because you wanted to understand something?" "No." Ryan laughed softly. "I'm not going anywhere." I looked at Victoria. "Your choice." She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. I picked up my coat. "I'll have Sophia contact you." "Ethan, wait." I stopped at the door. Victoria's voice softened. "I never meant to hurt you." I turned. "You keep saying that." She looked at me. "I'm sorry." "I believe you." Her eyes widened. "Then why are you leaving?" "Because being sorry doesn't change what you chose." I walked outside. For the first time in years, I didn't look back. But before I reached my car, my phone vibrated. It was Claire. "Mr. Cole, I need to tell you something." I called her. "What happened?" Her voice trembled. "Ryan has been asking questions about your wife's shares." "What kind of questions?" "Passwords, ownership, transfers." I froze. Why would he need that? "I don't know." "Claire, what aren't you telling me?" She took a breath. I think he's planning to take control of the company. I looked back at my house. Victoria was standing behind the window, and suddenly, I wondered whether she knew she was being used. Send me everything, I said. I will. The call ended. I stared at the divorce papers in my hand. Then I whispered, Victoria, you have no idea who you brought into our marriage. I sat in my car for 10 minutes after Claire's call. I kept hearing her voice. Ryan has been asking about your wife's shares. I called her again. Claire, I need everything you know. I'm scared. You should be. But if Ryan is planning something, Victoria needs to know. She won't listen to me. Then give me proof. I have proof. My hand tightened around the steering wheel. What kind? Emails. Meeting records. A recording. Recording of what? Ryan talking to another investor. Send it. I will. The file arrived 2 minutes later. I pressed play. Ryan's voice filled the car. Once Victoria transfers the shares, Ethan becomes irrelevant. Another man asked, and Victoria? Ryan laughed. She'll have enough money to feel grateful. My stomach turned. The other man asked, does she know? Know what? That you're planning to replace her. Ryan laughed again. She thinks I'm in love with her. I stopped the recording. For several seconds, I could not breathe. I had been betrayed by my wife. Now I understood that she had been betrayed too. I called Victoria. What? Where are you? At the office. Can you meet me? Why? Because I need to tell you something about Ryan. Her voice immediately became defensive. Ethan, please don't start this again. Just meet me. I'm busy. Then answer one question. What? Has Ryan asked you to transfer company shares? Silence. Who told you that? That isn't an answer. He's helping me restructure the company. Has he asked? Yes. Did you sign anything? No. Good. Why are you asking me this? Because he isn't helping you. You don't know that. I have proof. She hung up. I drove to Daniel's office. He listened to the recording twice. Ethan, this is bad. I know. You could expose him. I could. Then do it. Not yet. Daniel stared at me. Why? Because Victoria still thinks I'm trying to get her back. And I want her to see the truth herself. You're giving her too much time. I know. That evening, Victoria finally came home. She looked exhausted. Ethan. I stood. Did you listen to the recording? Yes. And I confronted Ryan. What did he say? He denied everything. Do you believe him? She looked away. I don't know. I stepped closer. Victoria, he told someone that he planned to take your company. He said it was taken out of context. Then ask him about the shares. I did. And he became angry. That should tell you something. She sat down. I thought he understood me. I know. He made me feel like I was finally being seen. I swallowed. I know what that feels like. She looked at me. Do you hate me? No. Why not? Because hating you would mean you still control how I feel. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I looked away. You keep saying that. I know. She wiped her face. I made a terrible mistake. Yes. I thought you were holding me back. I never held you back. I know that now. I remained silent. She whispered, Ryan said you were jealous because you were afraid I would become more successful than you. I almost laughed. He really understood how to manipulate you. I believed him. I know. She stood. What do you want me to do? Protect your company. And our marriage? I looked at her. I don't know if there is still an hour. She closed her eyes. Then her phone rang. Ryan. She answered. Hello. I watched her face change. What do you mean? She listened. No, I never agreed to that. Her voice shook. Ryan, stop. She ended the call. What happened? I asked. She looked at me with fear. He transferred confidential company information. Where? To our biggest competitor. I said nothing. She covered her mouth. He's destroying everything. I stepped closer. Not everything. She looked at me. Can you help me? I can help the company. And me? I paused. I don't know. She began crying. For the first time, I saw Victoria without her CEO mask. Just a woman who had finally realized she had trusted the wrong man. Then my phone rang. Sophia. Ethan, the board is calling an emergency meeting. When? Tomorrow morning. What do they know? Enough to question Victoria's leadership. I looked at my wife. She was staring at me. Sophia continued. There's something else. What? Your ownership documents give you a voting position. I closed my eyes. The balance had changed. Victoria had lost control, and I had finally gained the power I never wanted. I looked at her and said quietly, tomorrow, everyone will hear the truth. But before I used that power, I knew I had one choice left. Save the company without destroying the woman I once loved deeply. I woke before sunrise, but for the first time in weeks, I did not reach for my phone. I sat by the window and watched the city wake up. My phone finally rang. It was Victoria. Can I come over? Why? I need to talk. About the company? No. About us? I almost said no. Instead, I answered, come. 30 minutes later, she stood outside my apartment. She looked different. No expensive suit. No confident smile. Just a tired woman holding a small box. What's that? I asked. Our anniversary gift. I stared at her. You bought it yesterday? No, I bought it weeks ago. Then why didn't you give it to me? Because I forgot the date. She opened the box. Inside was a new watch. I looked at it, then at the old watch on my wrist. I don't want this. I know. Then why bring it? Because I wanted to admit something. She took a breath. I didn't forget our anniversary because I was busy. I said nothing. I remembered it that morning. My chest tightened. You remembered? Yes. Then why did you tell me you forgot? Because Ryan told me the dinner would be important for the company. I looked away. He said he needed me there. And you chose him. Yes. The honesty hurt. She sat down. I thought my company was everything. It became everything. I was afraid of losing my success. You were afraid of losing control. She nodded. You're right. I studied her face. What changed? I lost control anyway. That's not enough. I know. She looked at me. I finally understood that I had been using my success to avoid looking at what I was doing to you. I crossed my arms. And what were you doing? Making you feel invisible. The word stayed between us. I looked at the floor. I spent years trying to make your life easier. I know. I defended you when people criticized you. I know. I gave you money when your company needed it. I know. I looked at her. Then why did you act like I had never done anything? She wiped her eyes. Because admitting what you gave me meant admitting I couldn't have done everything alone. That's pride. Yes. Your father? She nodded. My father always said I had to prove I could build something without anyone carrying me. And I became the person you were ashamed to need. She began crying. Yes. I took a slow breath. That is the most honest thing you've ever told me. I'm sorry. I believe you. Her eyes lifted. Does that mean you forgive me? No. She nodded. I understand. Forgiveness isn't the same as trust. I know. She looked toward my desk. What are you working on? My own investment company. Her expression changed. You're starting over? No. I'm starting something that belongs to me. You always had the ability. I didn't believe that. I did. I smiled sadly. You should have told me. I should have told you many things. My phone buzzed. A message from Victoria appeared. I found something in the old office. You need to see it. I stared at the screen. What did you find? I typed. Her reply came almost instantly. A letter you wrote to me before we got married. My heart stopped. I had completely forgotten that letter. Then another message appeared. I think you should read what you wanted from me back then. I looked at the old watch on my wrist. I understood everything. For the first time, I wondered whether our marriage had truly died, or whether the man who entered it had simply disappeared. I arrived at the office that evening. Victoria was waiting beside my desk. You came. You said you found a letter. She held up an envelope. I found it inside the bottom drawer. I recognized my handwriting. That's from before our wedding. I know. Why didn't you open it? I did. I looked at her. You read my letter? I'm sorry. What did it say? She handed it to me. I unfolded the paper. I read the first line. I want a wife who chooses me, even when the world gives her 1,000 reasons not to. My throat tightened. Victoria whispered, I understand now. I folded the letter. I wrote that before I knew what marriage would become, I was supposed to be that woman. Yes, I wasn't. No. She looked down. I spent 6 months trying to fix everything. You fixed the company. I also changed. I can see that. But you still won't come home. I took a breath, because home stopped feeling safe. Her eyes filled with tears. Can I change that? I don't know. Then let me try. I looked at her. Why? Because I love you. The words were familiar. Once, they would have been enough. Now, they were only words. You loved me before. I did. Then why did you choose Ryan? I was weak. You were selfish. Yes. You were proud. Yes. You hurt me. Yes. She did not defend herself. That hurt more. I walked toward the window. Victoria, I signed the divorce papers. She froze. You signed? Yes. When? Last week. Her face went pale. You said you would review them. I did. And you signed? Yes. She stepped closer. Why? Because I needed to end the marriage we had. She stared at me. So it's over? The marriage we had is over. That isn't what I asked. I turned toward her. You want the truth? Yes. I don't know if I can love you the way I used to. She began crying. I understand. No, you don't. I do. You think losing me is your punishment. She shook her head. No, losing you is my consequence. I said nothing. She continued. I used to think you would always be there. You believed I would never leave. Yes. And that made it easy to hurt me. Yes. I looked at the letter again. That man who wrote this letter wanted a simple life. I remember. He wanted dinner together. He wanted honesty. He wanted his wife to come home. I can give you that now. Maybe. She looked hopeful. Maybe. I need time. I'll give you time. I need space. I'll give you space. And I need you to stop trying to win me back. She nodded. I will. I handed her the letter. Keep it. Why? Because it belongs to the woman I married. She looked at me, and who am I now? Someone I don't know yet. She wiped her tears. Then let me become someone you can know again. I almost smiled. Do you mean that? Yes. My phone rang. Sophia. I answered. Hello. Ethan, we have a problem. What happened? Ryan is trying to move against the company. How? He contacted several investors. Can he do anything? Not without support. Does he have support? She paused. Yes. My stomach tightened. Who? One of Victoria's board members. I looked at Victoria. She had heard enough to understand. Which one? Marcus Cole. I froze. My father? Victoria stared at me. Why would he help Ryan? I don't know. I ended the call. Victoria whispered. My father wouldn't do that. Then we need to find out. She reached for my hand. I looked at it, but did not take it. She lowered her hand. Sorry. I nodded. We walked out of the office together. For the first time, we were not husband and wife. We were two people facing the enemy. Outside, Victoria stopped. Ethan. What? If we survive this, will you give me a chance? I looked at her. I can't promise you a marriage. I'm not asking for a promise. What are you asking for? A chance to prove I can love you without owning you. I held her gaze. That is the first thing you've said that gives me hope. She smiled through her tears. Then my phone buzzed again. Sophia had sent a photograph. I opened it. It showed Ryan shaking hands with Marcus. Under the photograph was one sentence. They are planning to take everything. I looked at Victoria. Your father chose Ryan. Her face went white. Then tomorrow, she whispered, we fight. I nodded. No. She looked at me. Tomorrow we tell the truth. And for the first time since our anniversary, I felt something stronger than anger. I felt ready. I arrived at the company before sunrise. The lobby was almost empty. Claire stood near the elevators. You came. I said I would. Victoria has been inside since 5. Has she spoken to the board? Not yet. I looked toward the executive floor. Is Ryan here? No. Good. Claire lowered her voice. Ethan, everyone is afraid. I know. Are you going to take control? I looked at her. I'm going to stop the bleeding. She nodded. The elevator opened. When I entered the boardroom, Victoria was already sitting at the end of the table. She looked exhausted. Ethan, she said, I'm here. You shouldn't have come. I own part of this company. Her eyes dropped. I know. The board members stared at me. One of them spoke. Mr. Cole, do you understand what your voting position means? Yes. And are you prepared to use it? I am. Victoria stood. Before we begin, I need to say something. I looked at her. Go ahead. She faced the board. I made mistakes. One investor interrupted. Your decisions nearly destroyed this company. I know. You trusted Ryan Blake. Yes. You ignored warnings. Yes. And now you expect us to trust you? Victoria swallowed. No. The room became silent. I expect you to judge me by what I do next. I felt something inside me shift. For once, she was not defending herself. She was accepting responsibility. The board began discussing the missing data and lost contracts. I finally spoke. Give me the files. Everyone turned toward me. Victoria looked surprised. I continued. I have documents showing Ryan's actions. I also have evidence that he attempted to manipulate company ownership. An investor asked, why should we believe you? Because I have nothing to gain from lying. Victoria looked at me. That isn't completely true. I met her eyes. I could take control. The room went quiet. Yes, I said, I could. Victoria whispered, Ethan, but I won't. Everyone stared at me. I placed the documents on the table. My goal is to protect the employees, investors, and company. The chairman leaned forward. What do you propose? Remove Ryan's access immediately. Freeze suspicious transfers. Review every contract he handled. Then bring in an independent financial team. That will be expensive. Losing the company will cost more. The chairman nodded. Agreed. Victoria looked at me. Why are you helping me? I answered honestly. I'm helping the company. Her eyes became wet. And me? I paused. I don't know. After the meeting, Victoria followed me into the hallway. Ethan, wait. I stopped. Why did you save me? I didn't save you. You know what I mean. I saved what we built. We. I looked at her. I always thought it was ours. She lowered her head. I forgot. Yes. She whispered, I'm sorry. I nodded. I know. She stepped closer. I want to fix this. You can fix the company. I mean us. I looked into her eyes. Victoria, you broke something that money cannot repair. I know. Trust takes time. I'll wait. I'm not asking you to wait. Then what are you asking? I'm asking you to become honest, even if I never come back. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I will. I walked away. That evening, I returned home alone. The house felt different. I opened the drawer beside my bed and found the watch Victoria had given me. I held it in my palm. My phone rang. Sophia, the board approved your proposal. Good. There's something else. What? Victoria asked me whether you still have feelings for her. I closed my eyes. What did you tell her? The truth. What truth? That only you can answer that. I ended the call. Then someone knocked on my door. I opened it. Victoria stood outside. I need to ask you one thing. What? If I rebuild everything honestly, will you ever give me another chance? I looked at the woman I once thought I would grow old beside. I don't know. She nodded through her tears. That's more than I deserve. She turned away. Victoria. She stopped. I'm not destroying you. She looked back. I know. I'm protecting myself. She smiled sadly. I finally understand the difference. Then she left. I watched her disappear down the hallway. For years, I had measured my worth by whether Victoria loved me. Now I understood something painful. For once, I believed those words without fear. I could love someone and still choose myself. And for the first time, that choice did not feel cruel. It felt necessary. I picked up the watch and whispered, "Whatever happens next, I will never abandon myself again." I stood outside the boardroom with Victoria beside me. "You ready?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "No, neither am I." She looked at me. "But I'm going in." I opened the door. Marcus was already seated beside Ryan. My stomach tightened when I saw them together. Marcus looked at me. "Ethan, you shouldn't be here." I walked to the table. "This company concerns me." Ryan smiled. "Still trying to play businessman?" I looked at him. "Still trying to steal someone else's company?" His smile disappeared. Victoria stepped forward. "Ryan, tell them why you contacted my investors." I was protecting the company. "No," I said. "You were protecting yourself." Marcus slammed his hand on the table. "Enough." I placed the documents in front of him. "Read them." He glanced down. "What is this?" "Records of Ryan's transfers." Ryan stood. "These documents are fake." Sophia entered behind me. "No, they aren't." Ryan turned pale. Sophia placed another file on the table. "We have verified every transaction." Marcus looked at Ryan. "Is this true?" Ryan said nothing. Victoria stared at him. "You lied to me." Ryan finally spoke. "You were never going to give me what I deserved." Victoria shook her head. "You deserved nothing." He laughed bitterly. "You think you built this company alone?" She looked at him. "I know I didn't." Ryan pointed at me. "He used you too." I stepped forward. "No, I supported her because I loved her. And now—" I looked at Victoria. "Now I support the truth." The board voted. Ryan lost his position immediately. Marcus lowered his head. "Victoria, I made a mistake." She looked at him. "You trusted the wrong man." "So did you?" Her eyes hardened. "Yes." I watched my wife take a breath. "I accept responsibility for my decisions." The room became silent. The chairman finally spoke. "Victoria, the board will allow you to remain CEO under the restructuring agreement." She nodded. "Thank you." I stepped back. My part was finished. Outside the building, Victoria stopped me. "You saved my company." "No, you did. I saved the people who depend on it." She smiled sadly. "You always say that." "Because it's true." She looked at me. "I heard what you said inside." "What?" "That you supported me because you love me." I nodded. "I did." "Do you still love me?" I looked at her for a long moment. "I don't know." She swallowed. "That hurts." "I know." She nodded. "I deserve that answer." We walked toward my car. Then she stopped. "Ethan." I turned. "I have one more thing to say." "Go ahead." "I don't want you to come back because you feel sorry for me." "I won't." "I don't want you to forgive me because you remember who I used to be." "I won't." "I want you to choose me only if you believe the woman I am becoming deserves another chance." I looked into her eyes. "That may take time." "I know." "How long?" "As long as it takes." 6 months passed. My investment company grew faster than I expected. For the first time, I woke each morning excited about my own future. Victoria rebuilt her company too. She removed Ryan's influence, changed the leadership team, and began listening to employees. One evening, she came to my office. "You're working late." "So are you." She smiled. I brought something. She placed an envelope on my desk. I opened it. Inside was our old anniversary photograph. I thought you destroyed it. I thought about it. Why didn't you? I looked at the picture. Because the memories were real. She sat across from me. I don't expect you to forget. I won't. I don't expect you to trust me immediately. I can't. I know. I looked at her. Then why are you here? She smiled softly. Because I finally learned that loving someone means giving them a choice. I felt my chest tighten. You've changed. I had to. She stood. I should go. Victoria. She stopped. I remember what you said 6 months ago. What? You wanted a chance to prove you could love me without owning me. She nodded. Do you still mean it? Yes. I stood. I can't promise we'll become husband and wife again. I understand. But I can promise something else. She waited. I won't close the door completely. Tears filled her eyes. Thank you. She turned toward the door. Victoria. She looked back. Happy anniversary. She smiled through her tears. It isn't our anniversary. I know. We both laughed softly. After she left, I looked at the old photograph one last time. I had lost my marriage. I had lost the man I thought I was. But I had found myself. I no longer needed Victoria's approval to know my worth. I no longer needed revenge to prove I had been wronged. I simply needed to live honestly. I touched the old watch on my wrist, the same watch she had given me years ago. Then I whispered the truth I had learned the hard way. She forgot our anniversary, but that night I finally remembered myself. And this time, I did not feel broken. I felt free.